Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. I was saying that inshallah ta'ala, since we have 4, sometimes 5 people in here, we'll read 2 by 2 unless anyone has a complaint with that. And then I went through and I had put the vowel markings on this first paragraph that we read yesterday, but I'll go inshallah and do it again for the benefit of those 2 who are going to read and translate it quickly as we go. He said, Saq al-Musannifu, and the Musannif is the author, while the Musannaf with a fatha is the thing authored. Saq al-Musannifu rahimahullah hadha al-hadith. He brought this hadith li bayani wujubi, to clarify the obligation at-ta'alluqi, of being attached to, connected with, billah, with Allah azza wa jal, wa tawakkuli alayhi, and depending upon him. فهذا ابن عباس, so this is Ibn Abbas. كان خلف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was behind the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقال له, and he said to him, يا غلام, oh boy. فكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حريصا, so the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was diligent, he was concerned and paying attention and being attentive. على غرس al-aqidati as-sahihati, on developing and growing and nurturing the correct aqidah, hatta fi nufus as-sibyan, even in the souls of the young children, the youth. Walam yahqir, and he never looked down or belittled ahadan, anyone. وَلَا يَقُولُ الشَّخْصُ, and a person, he doesn't say لَنْ أُعَلِّمَ after لَنْ, it's mansoob. لَنْ يرحمك الله لَنْ أُعَلِّمَ هَذَا الصَّبِي شَيْئًا مِنَ الْعَقِيدَةِ, I'm not going to teach this young boy anything from aqidah. أَخْشَى, I fear, and يختلط عليه, I fear that it will become mixed up upon him, or he'll be confused about it. It will confuse him. فانظر إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, look at the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فانظر إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام, علمه أمورا إظاما hamatan fiddin, he taught him tremendous, important affairs in the religion. Were there any questions about this or the hadith above? Because we maybe didn't get a chance yesterday to answer any. Tayyib. Alaikum salam. Everybody read the hadith, so we'll let the first 2 here, Abdullah and Muawiyah, read this, and then we'll move on down, inshallah. Abdullah.
Okay. ذكر المنسف مصنف رحمه الله هذا الحديث لبيان وجوب التعلق بالله عز وجل والتوكل عليه. فهذا ابن عباس كان خلق النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام، وقال له يا غلام فكان غلام فكان النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام حريدا على حريصا
نعم
على راس وغسل عقيدة الصحيحة حتى في نفوس ولم يحكي أحد ولا يقول الشخص لن أعلم هذا الصحابي شيء من العقيدة أخشى أن يختلط عليه فانطر إلينا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا ما هو أمور إطاما حماة الدين.
جزاكم الله خيرا يا معاوية.
ساق مصنف رحمه الله هذا الحديث لوجوب تعلق بالله عز وجل وتوكل عليه. فهذا ابن عباس كان خلف النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وقال يا غلام فكان ولم يحقر أحدا ولا يقول شخص لن أعلم هذا الصبي شيئا من العقيدة أخشى أن يختلط عليه. فانظر إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم علمه أمورا عظما هامة في الدين.
Naam. So he says here, Ya gulamu, oh boy, inni u'allimuka kalimat. I'm going to teach you some words. Kalimat, right? Kalimatun, lakinnaha قواعد في الدين. And then as if there might be a dash here or something, right? Azima. Right? Kalimat. He says, I'm going to teach you some words. So he says here, kalimat, words. He taught him words. Lakinnaha, but they, qawaida, but they are rules, not just words. They're words, but they're also qawaida, they're principles, fid deen, in the religion. Azima, as if it is a adjective to kalimat. They are tremendous words, right? Tremendous qawaid. It could go back to azima, right? If it goes back to kalimat, azima, then it is azimatun, meaning marfu', describing kalimat. Or it could be azimatan, describing qawaid, right? Describing qawaid. This or that. You could look at it this way or that way. Kalimat, words. لكنها قواعد في الدين عظيمة. But they're principles in the religion. Tremendous. لذلك, due to that, or for that, and then reason is basically in parentheses. Ibn al-Jawzi, Yaqul, he says, Ibn al-Jawzi says, due to the importance of this principle, or these words, Lamma, when, لما قرأت, when I read, هذا الحديث. When I read what? هذا.
Hadeeth.
هذا is the object of the verb. When I read هذا, when I read this, hadith is a badal for it. So since it's the هذا is the maf'ulun bihi mansub, and hadith is a badal, is going to take the nasb just like هذا would. So when I read this hadith, kidtu an atisha. Kidtu an atisha. Kidtu comes from kada yakadu. Right? Kada yakadu, meaning almost. Kada yakadu, almost. Here, kidtu, it is I almost. Right? Just like zala yazalu ziltu. And I know I said a while back zultu, right? In one of the classes. I remember that. Ziltu. Here, kidtu. I almost. Right? It was almost an atisha. That I atish. Hada tish from ta ya sheen, meaning to become lightheaded. To become lightheaded. Right? I almost became lightheaded. I almost fainted. Right? I almost passed, became lightheaded. I almost fainted. Li idami ma fihi min at-tawjihat al-azima. Right? Li, due to idami, the greatness, ma fihi, of what is in it, min tawjihat al-azima, from the tawjihat, from again the root waw jim ha, like the word face. Right? Tawjih means a direction. You put someone in a direction. You put someone, you face them somewhere. This is tawjih, like tawjihat. So these directions, these tremendous directions and instructions found in this hadith, لذلك Ibn al-Jawzi يقول, due to that he said, لما قرأت هذا الحديث كدت أن أطيش, يعني لإذم ما فيه من التوجيهات العظيمة. Ibn al-Jawzi said, when I read this hadith, I almost fainted. I almost passed out. لإذم, due to the tremendousness or the greatness, the magnitude, ما فيه, of what is in it, من التوجيهات العظيمة, from the tremendous instructions and directions. This is why they are kalimat, ولكنها قواعد في دين عظيمة, but they are rules, tremendous rules in this religion. Any questions? طيب. We'll read the next one and then we'll move on. We'll read this paragraph and then we'll let people read these two short paragraphs. He says, ihfadh, and again, this is a command, right? And because of the fatha on the fa here, right, we would say ihfadh, although we don't write it, right? Because this is a hamzatul wasl, but we say it. Ihfadh Allah, or ihfadhillah. We end up putting a kasra here for reading purposes. Ihfadhillah, protect or preserve Allah, meaning his boundaries and his hudud, his prohibitions and his commands. Yahfadhka, yahfadhka. This, as we said before, this yahfadh is medzum because it's a condition. It's the jawab of what was requested, right? It's called jawab al-talab, not jawab al-shart, but jawab al-talab. The answer of what was requested. What was requested? Ihfadillah. preserve Allah, protect Allah, right? يحفظك, He'll protect or preserve you. يعني, meaning, احفظ, same word, احفظ الله. Allah is mansoob because Allah, lafzul jalala, the word Allah here is mansoob. Not that Allah is mansoob, but the word Allah is mansoob because of it being the object of the hifz. Right? احفظ الله بطاعات, with acts of obedience. Wajtinabi, and ta'at is majroor after the ba. Wajtinabi al-ma'asi. Right? And mijtinab is also majroor after the bit. How do you preserve or protect Allah? Bijtinabi. Bita'at wa bijtinabi al-ma'asi. Ijtinabi, we said many times, from jeen noon ba, meaning on the side of. So you don't want to be on it, you don't want to be part of it, you want to be on the side of, meaning away from it. So if somebody's doing something stupid in the middle of the, say in the middle of the store, right, at the checkout line, and you're behind that person and they're doing something stupid, you're going to just step away. I'm going to make one step over. Hey, I'm not with that guy. So when the police come or security comes or everyone starts filming, hey, I'm not with him. I'm away from him, right? You don't want to be right next to him. So this is ijtinab, to stay away from. Al-ma'asi, sins, right? Sins. That's how you preserve Allah. وَبِحِفْظِ and by protecting Allah. And this is the protection of Allah, right? And by protecting Allah, this is mudaf ilay. This is a different kind of construction here. وَبِحِفْظِ and by protecting Allah, and by doing this protection or preserving of Allah's rights, يَحْفَظْكَ. Yahfadhka. It could be Yahfadhka, He protects you, or it could be Yahfadhuka. Yahfadhuka as a statement, not so much as a jawab, not so much as an answer to your protection, but it could be Yahfadhuka, but Allah knows best. Here is probably Yahfadhka. He protects you. إِذَا حَفِظْتَ, if you protect Allah, hafidhta, إِذَا حَفِظْتَ, إِذَا when or if, hafidhta, hafidhta Allah, when you protected Allah or protect Allah, Allahu yahfadhuka. Now here is definitely yahfadhuka, yahfadhuka, then He protects you. Min ash-shurur, from evil, the plural of shar, shurur, wal afat, afati. Afat comes from alif, waw, fa. Alif, waw, fa. Meaning becoming spoiled and corrupted, and like this. So إِذَا حَفِظْتَ اللَّهِ, if you protect Allah, Allahu yahfadhuka, then Allah protects or preserves you. مِنَ الشُّرُورِ وَالْأَفَاتِ, from evils and from being destroyed, from corruption, from being spoiled. وَمِن, and from kadari rizq, kadari ar-rizqi, right? Kadar, from kaf, dal, ra, as we can see. Or here, afat. Here's the word spoil, not here. Afat means to be ruined. Like I said, destructed and destroyed, right? Destruction, destroy. He protects you from evils and being ruined and destroyed. Kadar means to be spoiled. Kadir. Right? وَمِن كَدْرِ رِزْق. And from your provisions being spoiled. From your provisions being spoiled. Right? وَيُيَسِّرُ from ya, sin, ra, meaning to make things easy. وَيُيَسِّرُ لَكَ الْأُمُورَ. And he makes easy for you umura, affairs and matters, issues. He makes these things that happen to you in life, matters, affairs, the plural of amr, easy for you. وَيَفْتَحُ from fataha, meaning to open, like Fatiha. يَفْتَحُ لَكَ, and he opens for you أبواب السعادة. Abwab is the plural of bab, meaning the doors of happiness. احفظ الله يحفظك. Protect Allah, He'll protect you. يعني احفظ الله بطاعات واجتناب المعاصي. Protect Allah by acts of obedience and avoiding, staying away from acts of disobedience. وَبِحِفْظِ اللَّهِ يَحْفَظْكَ. And with the protection of Allah, He protects you. إِذَا حَفِظْتَ اللَّهَ اللَّهُ يَحْفَظُكَ. If you protect and preserve Allah, Allah will preserve you, protect you. مِنَ الشُّرُورِ وَالْآفَاتِ. From evils and ruin and destruction. وَمِنْ كَدَرِ رِزْقٍ. And from your provisions being spoiled. وَيُيَسِّرُ لَكَ الْأُمُورِ. And He will make easy for you the affairs. وَيَفْتَحُ لَكَ أَبْوَابَ السَّعَادَةِ. And He will open for you doors to happiness. Any questions?
No.
Yalla ya Suhaib, your mic's open.
يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات لكنها قواعد في الدين عظيم. لذلك ابن الجوزي يقول لما قرأت هذا الحديث كدت أن أطيش، يعني لعظم ما فيه من التوجيهات العظيمة. احفظ الله يحفظك، يعني احفظ الله بالطاعات واجتناب المعاصي. وبحفظ الله يحفظك، إذا حفظت الله الله يحفظك من الشرور والآفات. ومن كدر الرزق وييسر لك الأمور ويفتح لك أبواب السعادة.
الله يبارك فيك يا أبا بكر. يا غلام يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات. Are you following along with us, Abu Bakr?
No.
I don't know what we're doing. Abu Sumaya, you gonna keep your mic off all day? Fadal. Abdullah, go ahead and read.
I hear you. I don't think he does.
Okay, go ahead and read, Akhi.
I told you he's not. His thing is acting up again. Go ahead and read. Go ahead and read.
He's not answering. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead and read, Abdullah. You don't want to read? Let me know.
Can you hear?
No, I can't hear anything.
You don't hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. You don't hear Abu Sumayya?
No. Suhaib.
I hear you.
Yes.
I hear Suhaib. I hear Abdullah. Muawiyah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I don't hear Abu Sumayya at all.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know. He was reading.
We can all hear أبو سمية ولكن we can't hear him.
Well, I can't hear, so I don't know what to do. You don't want to read Abdullah and read Muawiyah, whatever. I don't care. We can go on to the next paragraph.
I can read, but I thought no, he was trying to read.
I understand, but I don't know what to do because I can't hear him. I hear you. I hear Muawiyah. I hear Suhaib.
Okay, I think he just came back in. Let's see if he can read or not.
يلا أخي carry on then.
Abu Bakr just moved out because he couldn't find a place.
What about Abu Sumayya back in?
Abu Sumayya. Not on my computer. He said I'll log out and log in again. He didn't. I didn't. There he goes. He's out.
Yeah.
This is why the mic needs to be on. This is why people need to be in class, man.
Exactly.
الله المستعان.
You know.
He's getting that back.
We give him 5-10 seconds, man. Other than that, we just move on.
Okay.
You can read afterwards.
Okay.
Well, you read. That's why I'm trying to give him a chance. Assalamu alaikum. You guys hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not on my side. I can't hear anything.
All right. Well, Abu Sumayya, you go ahead and listen to him and let him go and read because we hear him.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't hear him, and it won't be recorded that he's talking even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When you guys want to read, or we just move on?
He's reading.
Yeah, but I can't hear him, so it don't matter if he's reading.
Yeah, أبو سمية.
He can read. He can read on his own if nobody can hear. If I can't hear him, you understand?
Okay. Well, let somebody else go and read.
Okay. Well, you were at the top of the list, brother.
Carry on.
Okay. يعلم إني أحلمك كلمة لكنها قواعد في الدين عظيمة لذلك ابن الجوز يقول لما قرأت هذا الحديث كدت أن أطيش يعني لإثبان ما فيه من التوجيهات عظيمة احفظ الله يحفظك يعني احفظ الله بالطاعة.
Not bit-ta'at. There's a shad on that ta. I didn't write it because it's...
Okay. بالطاعة واجتناب المآسي.
Wajtina what?
واجتنابه المآسي وبحفظ الله يحفظك إذا حفظت الله يحفظك يحفظك من
Muawiyah.
الشرور
Quran. It's the morning time. You have a test summit tonight.
ومن كدر الرزق وييسر لك الأمور ويفتح لك أبواب السعادة.
No. Okay, alhamdulillah. He says, احفظ الله. احفظ. Huh?
I can hear you.
You hear me, Abdullah?
Okay. Something's wrong with his thing today. It's like it was last night. So he's not. Do y'all hear him?
No.
Muawiyah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, do y'all hear him?
No.
Okay.
He said, احفظ الله.
You guys hearing? The Ustad.
Huh? Suhaib.
Abdullah,
No.
do you hear the Ustad?
Yeah. You don't hear him?
No.
Assalamu alaikum. Suhaib. Muawiyah.
نعم يا أخي أنا سعيد
Suhaib can't hear. Abu Bakr.
He just went out and he's going to come back in.
Okay, Abu Bakr hears.
Abu Sumayya, you hear him?
I'm turning on his mic now.
Okay, I guess he does. Well, who needs orange juice?
I don't even know what that means. Abu Sumayya.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Now I hear you. There you go. طيب. He says, احفظ الله تجده. And this is again majzoom here with a sukoon on the dal, because it is the jawab al-talab. احفظ الله. Protect Allah, preserve Allah. تجده. You will find him تجاهك. Tujah, as we said, is a dharf al-makan, right? You'll find him in front of you. That's what the meaning, from wajh, right? From the word wajh. And here we can see Abdullah, tajidhu, yarhamakallah, tajidhu, we can see that as being the maf'ulun bihi, when it's attached to the verb. When we said the pronoun, when it's attached to the verb, it's the maf'ulun bihi, tajid. What do you find? You find huwa. You find him, right? The object of the verb. Yani, إذا حفظت الله, if you protected Allah Azza wa Jal, tajid ربك ييسر لك جميع الأمور. You will find your Lord making easy for you جميع الأمور, all of your affairs. احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. You'll find him in front of you. يعني إذا حفظت الله عز وجل تجد ربك, right? ربك is mansoob because of, it's the object of tajid, right? You will find him where? You will find who? You will find Rabbaka. Ka here is a pronoun attached to a noun. It's mudaf ilay, so it's majroor. Rabbuka. Ka is majroor, mudaf ilay. However, it's mabni, so you don't get to see its sign. Yuyassiru laka jami' al-umur. Jami' is the mudaf ilay to yuyassiru. He makes easy what? Jami'a al-umur. All of the affairs. إذا سألت فاسأل الله. إذا سألت فاسأل. And it should be majzoom because it is the jawab, right? Or the condition. فاسأل الله. Then ask Allah. If you ask Allah. لا تدعو غير الله. Do not make dua. لا تدعو. Right? It should be tad'u with a wow. However, originally, not that it should be here, but it was originally tad'u. But because it is a command, it becomes majzoom, and it becomes majzoom bihadafi harf al-illa, by dropping the weak letter. So we have la tad'u. La tad'u ghayr Allah. Do not call on who? Ghayra, other than Allah. Right? And everything after ghayr is like kulli and ayyi. It's going to be majroor. La tad'u ghayr Allah. Do not call on other than Allah. Wallahu azza wa jal yaqulu. And Allah azza wa jal says, Was'alullaha min fadlihi. Ask Allah. It's a command to a group of people. Was'alullaha. And ask Allah min fadlihi. Meaning from all of us. All of us, he's telling us, ask Allah min fadlihi, from his grace, from his bounties. وقال, and he said, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ, and if they ask you, عِبَادِي, my slaves is your fa'il here. If my slaves ask you, سَأَلَكَ, ask you. Right? Ask who? Ask you. The ka connected to the verb is the maf'ulun bihi. If they ask you, ask who? Ask you. Who's asking? Ibadi, my slaves. Anni, regarding me. Fa inni qareeb. Then verily I am close. Right? Waqala, and he said, Ud'uni. And this is a command in the plural. Ud'uni, call on me. Astajib lakum. Astajib lakum. From astajib, from jim waw ba, meaning to answer. Astajib, I will answer lakum, you guys. Right? I will answer you guys. Right? If you call on me, I will, or call on me, I will answer you guys. وَمِن karamillah, and from the karam, the nobility, the honor, the like we have falyukrim dayfahu, to honor his guest. All of that what karam entails. وَمِن karamillah, and from that honor and nobility of Allah, annahu, that he, not a dhamma here, annahu, that he, fi kulli, in every, laylatin, in every night, yanzilu wa yaqul, he comes down and he says, he descends down to the lowest heaven and he says, Men yas'alani. Men yas'alani. Who's asking me? Fa'u'tihi. Fa'u'tihi. So I will give him. Right? Ihfadillah tajidhu tujahaka. Protect Allah and you will find him in front of you. Yani idha hafidhta Allah. If you protected Allah Azza wa Jal. تجد ربك ييسر لك جميع الأمور. You will find your Lord in front of you. You will find your Lord making easier for you all the affairs. إذا سألت فاسأل الله. And if you ask, then ask Allah. لا تدعو غير الله. Do not call on other than Allah. والله عز وجل يقول واسألوا الله من فضله. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, and ask. All of you ask Allah from His bounty, from His favor. وقال وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب. And He said, and if my slaves ask you about me, then verily I am close. وقال ادعوني أستجب لكم. And He said, make dua to me, I will answer you. ومن كرم الله أنه في كل ليلة. And from the honor and the grace and the mercy and all of that, the karam, the nobleness of Allah, that He that every night yanzilu wa yaqul, that He comes down and He says, man yas'alani fa'u'tihi. So I can, who is asking me, so I can give him. Are there any questions? Abdullah, you hear me?
No.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, Abu Sumaya, you hear me? Did he say anything? Abu Sumaya. Abu Bakr. I don't know what to say, Ya Akhwan. Inshallah, if you guys can hear me, we'll meet tomorrow. I will send you a new link since today's link was the last one in this class. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me, and we'll read this paragraph tomorrow, and then inshallah ta'ala we will start, because I don't hear anybody. Some people aren't. If they're responding, I don't hear them. So we'll conclude, because we only have a few minutes left anyway. So anyway, tomorrow we'll read this paragraph first, and then we'll continue bi'idhnillah ta'ala. As I said, I will send you a new link, that will be good for the next, 2 months or whatever, the same link, inshallah ta'ala. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.